This is Lacey Rice with KySports.TV at Georgetown College with head soccer coach Derek Willis. And this is Coach Willis's 7th, 8th year?
I think ninth.
Ninth?
Ninth, maybe 10th. I don't know. I gotta go back and look. It's been a while.
Time flies when you're having fun.
That's right.
Okay, all right. So, Coach, you're back here at Georgetown once again, and you're in one of the toughest spots in the country because you are in a conference with a perennial power, Lindsey Wilson. And this conference has had, it's been a very tough conference as far as soccer goes. And so, what are some of the things that you're looking for this particular year?
Well, I think we had a decent season last year. We had 4 wins and 4 draws, and we felt like we should have turned those draws into wins. We felt we had better chances in those games. So we had 8 positive results. We're looking to build on that. Our goal, usually the last 2 years, has been to try and finish in the 4th or 5th spot so we can avoid the perennial powerhouses such as Lindsey, with their 9 to 10 national championships. That's always one of those teams you want to avoid in the playoffs. And they finished 3rd the last 2 years, if that tells you the situation that our conference is and how tough it is right now. Looking to do well there. We started pretty well with 3-2 out of the gates. We were hoping to play last night, but it got canceled because of weather. And then hoping to get our 4th win on Friday against Ohio Christian to continue building our confidence up towards the conference opener at Campbellsville. Okay.
And as far as soccer goes, it's a very tough sport. It's not for weak people. It's for those who have endurance, strength, and speed. Mm-hmm. And so, as far as the type of athlete that you're looking for, what's the type of athlete who you want to say, hey, you're welcome to come here, give us a try, become part of the family?
Sure. Soccer is a great sport because you can find great players in all different shapes and sizes. The first thing we look for is intelligence, actually. Kids can overcome certain athletic deficiencies if they know how to play smart and use their strengths and not expose their weaknesses too much. So we're always looking for the smart player. They always say you can't teach speed as well. If you're a fast kind of kid, we can always find a place for you. Technical skill is, you're not going to improve a lot in college, but you can certainly improve, and we can help teach that as well as tactics. But we can't teach speed. So we like fast, smart kids.
Okay, all right. So how many kids do you currently have on your roster?
Right now we're about 28. We hover around 28 to 32. Around there, we don't do a reserve program, so most of our kids are active. Rarely do some of the kids not play in a season, just because we'll have a couple injury issues, and all of a sudden now we're going down. But we like to try to keep everybody involved in the first team and kind of build a more solid camaraderie amongst the group, and I think that helps out with our roster size.
Okay. Well, can you tell us about some of the standout players that you have on your team this year?
Sure. We've had a couple guys over the past couple years had success. Last year we had senior midfielder JT Stevens. He's been an all-conference second-team player last 2 years. Started a little slow so far this year just because of injuries. He's had a nagging knee issue and a hamstring issue, but he's starting to get back into form. Our leading goal scorer from last year, Gregory, he's back. He's been in and out of games. Actually, both the games we've lost, he hasn't played. But he's already got 3 goals on the season. He got to 10 last year. Logan Blankenship is a newcomer for a lot of people that don't know him. He was here with us last year, but because of a transfer issue, he couldn't get eligible till this year. Started off the season on fire already with I think 5 goals, maybe 6 now. Is really putting in a lot of work for us. He's a big guy, smart player, and fast, so he gives us a lot of different looks going forward. Our goalkeeper, Patrick Schwartz, is entering his senior year. Has been terrific for us over the past few years and continuing those forms. We got a lot of new kids that are coming into the team, like a Jacob Curry, who's really starting to impress, and another goalkeeper, Jacob Roberts, who we expect big things over the next few years.
Okay. So as far as the athletes that you have on your team, Where are most of them from? They primarily from Kentucky or from surrounding states, or?
Sure, most of the squad right now is from Kentucky, and it's we got a lot of kids from far western Kentucky. We have 3 off the top of my head that's in the Paducah, Mayfield area. We've always had several kids from Henderson, that's right outside of Evansville, Indiana, in the program. We have very few kids actually from Lexington. We have just Jacob Roberts is the only Lexington kid. So we have some Louisville area, northern Kentucky, just kind of all around in those areas. We have a couple of kids from Indiana, outside of Evansville as well. In the past, we've had kids from Columbus, from Tennessee, and those kind of areas. Usually about a 3-hour kind of circumference, maybe a little bit more around Kentucky. So.
Okay. All right. So, is that primarily where your recruiting area is primarily like the 3-hour circumference?
Yeah, generally we try to recruit within 3, 4, 5 hour drive. We find it's just difficult to get kids outside of that area because there's just so many good options out there for college soccer and schools. So we try to really hone into that area and try to, and it served us well for the past few years. So we'll continue to do that.
Okay. All right. So now, as far as the soccer outlook for the season, what's your ultimate goal this year?
Again, I think we want to finish 4th or 5th in the conference is our goal, and it's going to be tough because we have probably 5 to 6 teams that have really stepped their game up this year. Lindsay's been 3rd in our conference the last few years. They're top 25. Cumberland's is right outside the top 25 right now. Campbellsville's at 8. University of Cumberland's is not far away, and Life out of Georgia has had a really good offseason, recruiting a lot of international kids, and they've started off the season on fire. The overall team goal right now is to try to get the 10 win mark. We haven't gotten there since my first year through various different things, but we're really trying to focus on it and get to that mark for the guys. That's their goal. So hopefully we'll keep pushing it and get there.
Okay. So now, as far as the team philosophy, what's your particular philosophy as far as being a student athlete?
Well, we're very much an academics first program. We've been right around or above 3.0. We've been either the first or second team in GPA for the last few years. We recruit kids, like I said, they're intelligent. For lots of different reasons, but we want our kids to not just be successful on the field, but it's our goal to help produce successful people off the field and go on and be successful in their careers. So we've got a lot of kids who've come through. A couple of my guys just graduated pharmacy school and is now doing that. I've got a couple of kids in med school right now. A couple of kids are very successful in the business world right now, which is it warms my heart to see those guys go on and do those things. Just that team concept, for the past few years, helps them kind of get prepared for the trials and tribulations they might see in grad school or in the real world. So we really focus in on that. And we got a lot of kids who are not only serious players but serious students right now as well.
Okay. So now, before you became the head coach here, you had been an athlete. You had also coached at quite a few high school programs. Can you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, I played college soccer at Center College. I graduated in 2001. I was fortunate enough to be in a program that we made the NCAA tournament for 3 years, ranked top 25 every year. So it was a great experience for me, just to be around that and be able to play in that kind of environment. Didn't know what I wanted to do after school and landed into coaching. I actually helped out my alma mater here at Scott County for a couple of years while I was going to grad school, just as assistant coach. I got my opportunity to become a head coach, which seems really crazy to me now that I'm at my age, but at 23 I was the varsity head coach at Central Hardin High School, and was able to do that and stay there for 5 years. Alongside that, I got to experience club soccer at a very high level. I coached at Javanon Soccer Club in Louisville. I got to go to nationals twice with one of my teams. One of my teams was the first team to qualify for National League, which is a pretty big deal in youth soccer. One of my kids is playing professionally now at San Jose, so you can be able to keep up with that, and it's just been great. Seeing all the different kind of kids and how they do. One of my kids is playing in Indiana right now. Watching him. One of my other kids won a championship in Indiana a few years ago. One of my kids was a UK leading scorer. So I've had a good round experience in all kinds of different things. college soccer wasn't really on my radar until my wife got pregnant with twins. And basically we were in between our two homes about the same distance, and this job kind of came up, and I got a phone call from one of the player's current player parent, asked me if I might be interested, and we just kind of took a sign. I was like, well, this might be good, so we can get some help with kids, and get to a place where we were, although my wife's not from here, she's familiar with the area because she went to UK as well. Took the opportunity, and I'm still here after 9 years or so.
Okay. And so, did you find that the transition from high school and club to college, was it easy or was it kind of challenging? Or
I think the soccer part was easy, and what I've learned over the few years is, one is, I wish I was an assistant first, because the thing that college soccer is really thrives on is recruiting, and that's been a very tough learning process for me, just because I've never experienced that side of things. I was recruited, yes, but I've never been actually out on recruiting trips. Know those things, and how to approach recruiting. So it's always been a learning process for me, and it still is. I mean, it's you're learning new stuff every day, both soccer wise and recruiting wise. So I found that the toughest, as well as just trying to align myself with what the school was. Since I didn't go here, that was a little bit more difficult, trying to find, okay, what's a Georgetown kid like, which I think we finally gotten there. But that's always something that you can improve on. But very difficult to go from no experience in the recruiting field to here you go. So but we're getting there.
Okay. And that actually that is something I've talked to some others who have wanted to coach on the collegiate level in various sports. Some of them are head coaches, have been head coaches for a while on the high school end, and then they want to jump into becoming a collegiate head coach. And I'm like, you might want to take the route I took and become an assistant first, so you can learn about recruiting.
Absolutely.
Because you don't do that on the high school.
Absolutely, it's a different animal. It's a super competitive aspect of it as well, and it takes a while to kind of get a good philosophy in that, and trying to figure out what you can do via your school and things like that. So for sure.
Okay, and so and was compliance kind of kind of challenging, or was that something you had a lot of help with as far as
compliance wasn't that difficult for us, because with the NAI there wasn't a whole lot of things that we had to worry about, and the type of kids that I recruit, it really isn't much of an issue at all. We don't really have a lot of transfers. All of our kids are pretty high scoring on the ACT and GPA, so that part was pretty. The hard part was getting them into school first, and then if they got into school, that became a pretty easy thing. So.
Okay. Well, Coach, as we start winding down, couple things that we want to end with. Number one, this is your opportunity to speak to that athlete who wants to play at the next level, but he doesn't quite know where he wants to play. He really. He might not have heard of the NAIA, probably heard of some of the programs, didn't know they were in NAIA.
Sure.
But he is undecided. And so what would you say to that athlete, to get him here at Georgetown?
Well, first, I think contact me, email me. I think a lot of kids sit around at high school games, which, quite honestly, we don't go to very often. One, it's during our season. Two, it's just we don't have the time, because of training and things like that. So, but email us. If you email us, puts us on our radar. We can at least start guiding you through the process. Because I think too many kids just wait for that opportunity that some coach is going to see me. That might not happen. I mean, sometimes that happens in club soccer just because we're at a tournament with 12 different fields going on at the same time, and we can kind of sit in spots and kind of watch 88 guys at one time. It doesn't happen that way in the fall. So, if you think you might be interested in playing, you need to go out there and you contact, not just me, but any kind of coach. Especially if you think you want to move away from home, or if you want to be close to home. Got those kind of ideas. At least you can start the process and see, okay, is this a good fit for you? Is this what I'm looking for in college? And it might not. It's not a. I think kids get confused. It's not a are you good enough thing. It's are you a fit? You know, I mean, there's been good players that have come through here and they just weren't a fit, and we just didn't go on them. But they've had good careers somewhere else, and vice versa. There's kids that, you know, came in here and were a perfect fit for us and did well here. So take a chance. You know, what do you got to lose?
Okay. Well, and final, it's not even really a question, but this is your opportunity to kind of give those who influence you or who have supported you throughout your career a shout out.
Well, yeah, I got to thank, you know, first Jeb Birch at Center College. You know, he's been a big influence on me. He was my goalkeeper coach when I was at Center, and he's currently the head coach there as well. Tim Chassenay at Bellarmine University, who's been a great peer for me and a good friend. You know, we coached together at Javanon and had some very successful times there, and you know, always good to talk to him. I talk to him once a week to bounce ideas off and vice versa. You know, in my high school program, my Coach Weissong in high school allowed me to play and get these opportunities to keep playing, you know, keep coaching in this game. So.
Okay, all right. Well, Coach, we definitely want to thank you very much for taking out the time today to speak to us, and we'll definitely be keeping an eye out on your program and see how things go for you this year, and we wish you the best of luck.
I appreciate it. Thank you.